Hi, welcome to the live stream. And if you're watching the replay, thank you. I appreciate that. In today's live stream, we're going to be talking about where I'm going to travel next. And I want to get some input from you guys. Now that Alaska's getting closer to being fully recovered, I can finally think about starting to travel again. So, yeah. Um, Post in the questions below, post in the comment box if you have any questions, and I'll be answering a bunch of questions in the stream as well. Alejandro says, "Hi, Jordan. Hey." Tina says, "Morocco via Spain. Like, go to Spain first and then Morocco?" Alejandro, come to Monterrey. Yeah, I still need to. Hello, Joe in New Jersey. Oh, we got another Monterrey suggestion. Carson, California. Welcome. Martha says the sounds are amazing. Yeah, I love the birds, but there's a restaurant playing music, ruining it for me. I don't know if you can hear that. Uh, Thankfully, the birds are louder than the restaurant is. So I'm live on both Facebook and YouTube right now. If you have any questions, type in the comment box. I know a lot of you will be joining here in the next 15 or 20 minutes or so, but we'll just get started. Sean asks, have you done anywhere on the Baja Peninsula? It's a total shame, but no, I haven't. Angie asks, hi there, when you're on the street, do you use an iPhone or GoPro? Neither usually. I mean, my phone's an iPhone, but I'm not typically using that to record. I've recorded a little segment of Laska's therapy in the last video with an iPhone, and a while back I went to a resort near Puerto Vallarta in Punta Mita called Marival, and I filmed the whole thing at Marival with my iPhone because I was afraid that they'd tell me to stop recording if I was using my regular camera, because some of those fancy resorts don't let you record out in public, at least. Susan, hello from Querétaro. Kenneth asks, what's your favorite Mexican beach town? Like, if we're talking town and not city, probably Puerto Morelos in Quintana Roo, where I lived for a while. I'm just laughing at a comment that I saw. Anna says, hey, I live in Baja. You should really visit here. It has a special beauty. I know. I need to. I'm going to. Hopefully soon. Hopefully very soon. Finding Fish says, love the birds in the background. Yeah, it's really pretty. I wake up to that every morning. I love it. Unless Alaska wakes me up first. But no, it's usually the birds who are chirping first before Alaska. Daryl asks, are you wanting to leave Mexico? No, I'm not. Well, I mean, not leave as in to live somewhere else, but I do need to. I need to get some new equipment, and I'm waiting until I make a trip to the U.S. to do that. Otherwise, it's going to cost me a bunch more for shipping costs and import costs to have it all sent here. So that trip to the U.S. will probably be Vegas. Cat asks, is there anything you miss about Arizona? Yes, there is. I miss my friends there. and I loved hiking there. Mountain biking, I did mountain biking almost every day when I was living there. Really miss that. V, hello. It's going well. What time is it there? It's about 5 p.m. here. These come in every time. Give us a dating update. Any developments? Okay, maybe I'll talk about that later. Get out of here. There's a stupid bug on my screen. Do you love living in Mexico? I mean, it's why I live here. With the YouTube channel, I could literally live anywhere, and I choose to live here because I like it. Matthew asks, you were recently talking about insuring a car in Morelos. Any idea how those rates would compare to the U.S.? I was actually talking about registering it in Morelos, not insuring it in Morelos. Um, as for insurance in Mexico, I think for the Prius, we were we were using a company called GNP, and insurance was somewhere around 5 or 550 a year US. Marco asks, how far can you drive the ball? Talking golf here, I assume. Uh, I mean, I'm super inconsistent. Like if I hit it really well, I can hit it 350, or I can top it off the tee and hit it like 50 yards. Alicia asked, do you miss anything about Minnesota? Uh, yeah, super friendly people there, friends and family because that's where I grew up, and then also like going to the lakes in the summer. That was a lot of fun. Just got here because of the thumbnail with Alaska. How's Alaska's leg? It's doing pretty well. But yesterday she jumped off the bed, and I have a pretty high bed. And today she's limping a little bit. So, I mean, there's been a lot of those days over this period of recovery where she gets a little bit worse one day after doing something stupid. Because, like, so she's up on the bed, which is like way up high. But then I have an ottoman to help her get up there and to help her get down. And that's not very high off the ground, but it's about halfway up the bed. And instead of jumping down onto that, she just jumps straight onto the tile floor. And that didn't work out too well. Javier says your mole surgery looks great. You know, I can't read that word anymore after living in Mexico, mole, without reading it as mole. But thank you. If you guys missed today's video, I got these done in that video along with some other stuff. Like I gave you a little tour of one nearby neighborhood, and I also went out to this restaurant and this cool little store. Oh, and Laska had her physical therapy session in the video as well. I don't know. I like the video. It was a nice mix of stuff. Domeezy, thanks for the super chat. Why is it that every time you come on, I'm eating? I don't know. It's just that time, I guess. It gives you something to do while you're eating, though, right? Kelly says, I love your channel. It was the first channel that I followed. Appreciate the content and common sense. Thank you. Glad you found it. And I'm glad you're liking the videos. Mole poblano, yeah. Mole surgery. Got another super chat here. Thank you, SD Rock Girl. Do you have to have a passport for a certain amount of time before you can apply for residency? No, no. If you have your your passport from whatever country you're coming from, you can apply for Mexico residency right away. But you do need the passport. That is a requirement. Brad asks, I'm looking to see if you do any paid consulting. I don't, but check out Jerry Brown Travels. He has more experience in Mexico than I do, and he offers that service. So go check out his channel on YouTube, and I'm sure you'll see the link somewhere there to his consulting service. Enjoying your time as bachelor. When was the last time you were single? Well, before Maddie. So, I mean, we broke up beginning of July 2021. So it's it's going on a year for that. But before that, like 5.5 years prior. Hi, Allison. Matt, thanks for the super chat. How do you deal with self doubt on the road? Do you feel like a new person in each place? Uh, I, I don't know how to answer that. I don't really know if I've had self doubt. I mean, there's a lot of things I don't know, but is it self doubt? I, I I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of figuring things out. Um, Everything is new, uh, and like it's a new country and in each new place I go within the country, there's a lot of new stuff. So just figuring a bunch of stuff out along the way. Sean asks, if you move, where in Mexico would you go? Huh. Well, I don't have any plans to move. So, I mean, I want to stay in Querétaro. Now, if let's say I were to leave Querétaro, though, it'd probably be for only part of the year, and it would be to some beach destination. Maybe I do like Puerto Vallarta, Mazatlan, uh, maybe a smaller town that's not as well known. I'm not sure. Who won your fantasy hockey league? You did, Charlie. You did. Do you get Spanish TikTok videos on TikTok or English? Well, I don't use TikTok, but like if I'm on Instagram, a lot of TikTok videos show up there because people just repost them over onto Instagram, and it's more so Spanish than English. Daniel asks, is there a traveling mailbox for Mexico? So I assume a place where you can get mail in Mexico, like kind of a place that will receive your mail. Um, and there are services like that. For example, in some cities, there's this business that's called like I Shop and Mail. So they offer a mailbox. They don't scan it and like send it to you digitally, like traveling mailbox does, to the best of my knowledge. But at least you can get a physical mailbox to receive your mail. Matthew asked, "Do you prefer Puerto Vallarta over Puerto Morelos?" Uh, I like both places for different reasons. So Puerto Vallarta is a bigger city. There's more to do. There's a better food scene. Uh, you never have sargasso, the seaweed, in Puerto Vallarta. In Puerto Morelos in the summer, you have a lot of that, but Puerto Morelos is definitely cheaper. As long as there's no seaweed, the water is more beautiful over there on the Caribbean side. So, like, seaweed is usually the worst in the summer. So, if it's not a super hot time of year, then it probably won't be too bad or non existent, possibly. Uh, yeah, I like them for different reasons. Puerto Morelos is close to Cancun, and there's well, besides Mexico City, there's no airport in Mexico that's easier to get cheap flights to and from than Cancun. So that makes it easy to get other places as well. Cliff asks, "Is it hard to travel with Alaska? Also, do you leave her in the Airbnb when you are touring a city?" So, like, I mean, I haven't driven anywhere with Alaska for quite a while, like to other cities. But when I was doing that, no, it wasn't hard to travel with her. Like, I mean, we were driving everywhere, so that made it easy. Not having to deal with like getting her on a plane and all that stuff. Uh, when it comes to booking accommodations, it's pretty easy to find pet friendly accommodations. It definitely reduces your options and maybe makes your accommodations a little bit more expensive, but no, it's not difficult. And as for do I leave her in the Airbnb when I'm touring a city, then it depends really. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I mean, if I try to take her with if I can, because I don't want her sitting in the Airbnb all day if it's not necessary. Cora asks, Querétaro is beautiful. How long have you been in Mexico? I just stumbled across your channel today. So I've been in Querétaro a little over a year. As a matter of fact, at a 1 year lease, and today is the last day of that lease. And then, as for how long I've been in Mexico, uh, over 4 years now. Frank says video quality on this stream is much better. I think that's because I'm doing it earlier and there's better light. Because I'm using my MacBook to stream, and the camera on my MacBook doesn't have great light sensors because it's so tiny. So, I mean, it's just going to be higher quality when there's more light. Oh my gosh, I must be way behind on comments. Mexican TikTok is way funnier. So I watch a lot of the videos in Spanish, and I find a lot of them hilarious. So I mean, I don't know really know the comparison between U.S. TikTok or Mexico TikTok, but whether which is funnier. But I do enjoy the Mexican ones. Okay, I think I need to get to a couple super chats here. Beautiful Lies, thanks for the super chat. Biggest super chat of the day so far. Love your channel. Thanks so much for continuing it through the struggles. Got a ton of Vegas tips through you. Keep up the great work, El Guapo. Thank you. I appreciate you watching, and I'm glad you've gotten good use out of those Vegas videos. But plan on making some more. Combat Medic, thanks for the super chat. I want to move to Mexico permanently with my dog at the end of May, but haven't started any immigration processes yet. Is this possible? Okay. Um, yes, it's possible, but I would get on that soon. Like, try to book some appointment at a Mexican consulate near you as soon as you can. It can be kind of hard to get appointments, and maybe you can contact various immigration facilitators in Mexico, and some of them have connections with some of the consulates. They might be able to help you make an appointment quickly before you have to leave in a month. Anna asks, can you work remotely with a VPN? An employer not aware you are out of the country. I mean, can you? Probably. But I mean, do so at your own risk. And will employer care if you're not located in the country if you work remotely anyway? I mean, if I were an employer, I know I wouldn't, but I don't know. Dave asks, "Why'd you choose a husky? They are lovely." So, okay, here's how it went. I didn't want a dog, but I had thought that if I ever get a dog, it will be a husky, and if I ever get a dog, I will make sure I don't give up on it, and it will be with me for its whole life. So I'm made those two promises to myself, and at the time that we got Laska, I was living with a good friend of mine and my ex before Maddie, and both of them wanted a dog, and I was like, no, I don't want a dog. It's too much responsibility. And then they're like, I'm like, you know what? Okay, if it's a husky, I'll consider it. So then they went dog shopping, and they found Laska from a Mexican family in Phoenix, and so they went out and saw her first, and they came back home and they're like, we're getting this dog. So then I went with them to meet Laska, and that's how we came home with Laska. And on that topic of like a dog, I said that I didn't want a dog, but now I have no regrets with her. I love her, and I would happily get another dog. Cora asks, "Have you been to San Miguel de Allende yet?" Yeah, yeah, several times. I live less than an hour away from there, so it's pretty easy for me to get there. There's some videos up on the YouTube channel. I know you're commenting from Facebook, and I think you commented earlier that you found the channel today. But if you go over to the Tangerine Travels YouTube channel, you'll see some videos from San Miguel. Andrew says, "We'll be traveling by car with my dogs for 2 months to Merida. Any tips? Would you buy a home in Merida?" So, um, tips. My tips would be go when it's cooler, unless you're okay with living on the surface of the sun, because it gets really, really hot and humid in the summer there. So, winters are the best. Would you buy a home in Merida? You know, you can get a lot of home for your money there. It's a nice city. It's a really nice city. So, I mean, would I buy a home there though? Yeah, yeah, I think I would. April asked, "Does someone watch Lasco when you go out for dinner or something?" No, no, she's fine at home for quite a while. She can be home alone. Domizi, thanks for the super chat. Here's a curveball question: do you see any benefit in having dual citizenship, Mexican and American? The way things are going, I'm considering it soon. So, I'm of the opinion that you can't have too many passports. like, I mean, at any time, like if your government decides that they don't like you for whatever reason, they could take your passport away, like basically taking away your ability to travel anywhere. Well, and like look at it as if you were a Russian these days. Like Russians are being banned from everything just because they happen to be born within some imaginary lines. Yet if a Russian had another passport, well then they could travel on that other passport when their Russian passport is looked at in a negative light. Uh, but as for other benefits of carrying a Mexican passport, well, or Mexican citizenship, it allows you to buy property throughout the whole country of Mexico in your name. So the restricted zones don't apply to you. Um, Now, if you're not a Mexican citizen, there's ways around it. You can buy it through a land trust. You can buy it through a corporation. You can buy it outside of the restricted zone in your name, and all those things are fine. But it just adds one more step to that, and also it makes it easier to do things like banking and stuff here. So, yeah, I mean, if I could qualify for it, I would do that immediately, without a doubt. Margaret asks, so this is a live stream. Hot damn. Yep, this is. Visionary DeFi, thanks for the super chat. Yes, would love to would love a partnership and help your viewers with cryptocurrency investing because all fiat currency will collapse in the next few years. Um, I appreciate that, and thanks for the super chat. But I I don't think that I'm going to be doing any sponsorships with any cryptocurrency stuff on this channel. Daniel asked, does one need a fixed address to go from temporary resident to permanent resident, or can one be nomadic between Mexico and other countries? Thanks again. So the way the law is written, like you're supposed to have an address in Mexico, regardless of whether you have temporary residency and permanent residency. And like when you go to apply for it, you put your address in there, and you're supposed to update them within like 60 or 90 days of an address change. But I've literally never heard of any enforcement of that at all. So like, I mean, I've heard of people putting in their Airbnb address, things like that, and never having a problem with it, regardless of whether they're temporary or permanent. But yes, if you wanted to follow the law to the letter, you would need a permanent address for both. But like I said, it's not enforced. So whether you want to or not, that's kind of up to you, I think. So I see this comment here. I don't know what this is referring to, but guys, settle down. No need to insult. Like if you're being a jerk, just don't, please. And I made some people moderators. So if you have a little moderator badge next to your name, if you're watching on YouTube, well then you have the ability, but not the requirement, to do some moderation in the comments, in the chat, and yeah, get rid of the spammers, get rid of anyone who's being a jerk. Try not to be too heavy-handed, though. I still want it to be like a fun atmosphere and people to be able to joke around and things like that. That's all I ask. Visionary DeFi, just keep it in mind. Yeah, sure. Thanks again for the super chat. Is it true? What happens in Mexico stays in Mexico. uh, sure, sure. Have you been to San Luis Potosi? I've only driven through it. Thanks again for another super chat. I'm here in Merida, nice city. I have a video on the channel that's something like 12 reasons why Merida is awesome. I like it, as long as it's not in the summer. Any trouble trading stocks with Fidelity or Schwab while living in Mexico? No. I haven't used Fidelity, but I do use Schwab, and there's been one time where there was a problem. I activated a VPN, and I accidentally activated it in Cuba, and because of like trade embargoes or something with Cuba, my account was immediately locked, and I had to prove to Schwab that I was not in Cuba. So uh, they're like, I think I had to, after being on the phone with them, I had to go make a purchase locally with my Schwab debit card or something. It was actually kind of a pain in the butt though, like trying to figure out that how to prove that I'm not in Cuba thing. Jake, Jake, thanks for the super chat. He asked, "Hey Jordan, have you been dating, and where have you had the best luck, online or at clubs, etc.?" So, I mean, both. Yes, I have been dating, and both online and in person have been good. Like, it's pretty easy for both. Uh, like in the if you're on like Tinder in the U.S., you literally have to have a profile like Simon Levayev from the Tinder Swindler, like to match with any of the prettiest girls. But here in Mexico, it's not like that. I mean, just your average dude, and like there's a lot of really good looking women on there, but also in person too. Lucy asks, "Are you looking for a traditional woman, someone who cooks, cleans, and so forth?" Uh, Lucy, doesn't really matter to me, and no, not particularly. I mean, if that's what she wants to do, sure. But I mean, in Mexico here, like having a housekeeper is a cook, housekeeper, nanny is like cheap enough that I don't need like a wife to do that or anything. So that kind of thing can just be hired out. So I mean, if the person I'm dating wants to work, great. If not, I don't care. But thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. Juan Sanchez asks, "Living in Querétaro, have you been to Hercules Brewery?" Yeah, yeah, it's awesome. That's a cool place. Really popular. Kind of far away from me though. But yeah, I should go there in a video sometime. Terry's Tenacious says, "Do you have a maid?" So I have I have two housekeepers. They come once a week for about 5 hours at a time. That's all I have for now. I could have them come more often, but mm, I mean, basically, if I wanted them to come more often, it would just be like, I don't know, maybe vacuuming more doing my dishes again, making the bed. So it's like simple stuff that I can do. Ruben Vasquez, thanks for the super chat. What city in Mexico would be the best city to live in, or what would be your safest cities to visit? So, I mean, best to live in is hard because everybody's looking for different things. Like, I love Querétaro to live, but it's not for everyone. There's a video on Tangerine Travels of why we moved to Querétaro, and then there's a video why not to move to Querétaro. So, like, you could watch both of those videos and kind of weigh the pros and the cons and see if it's right for you. But as for safest, uh, the safest cities in the country are probably Querétaro and Mérida. Dave and Crystal, would you ever live in Puerto Vallarta? Eh, if I did, it would only be in the winters, not year round. I don't want to live like somewhere that's super hot and humid like that in the summer. Lori says, I want to live in Sayulita. Would you ever live there? No, not in its current state. When I went there, it was absurdly busy and a little bit too hippie-ish for me. So it's a place I'd visit, but to live, no, it's not for me. But that's not to say it isn't for you. Like like I was just saying about Querétaro, everyone has different preferences. So. Mario Amarez says, I was born in the Sierra Gorda. Any plans to visit? First of all, thanks for the super chat. And secondly, I don't know where that is. I'm sorry. I'm going to look it up. Sierra Gorda. So apparently there's a place in Querétaro and in Juriquilla called Sierra Gorda, but actually, why don't you just tell me where it is? Because what's coming up for me is stuff in Querétaro. So let me know where the Sierra Gorda is. Susan asks, have you been in the Yucatan area? Yeah, so there's the Yucatan Peninsula, and then there's the state of Yucatan. In the state of Yucatan, I've been in Merida a couple of times. I've been in Valladolid a couple of times, and then made one video also in this tiny town called San Crisanto. That was a real estate video of like oceanfront condos for sale. But then there's the Yucatan Peninsula, and that includes all of Quintana Roo. And yeah, I was living in Quintana Roo for a while, in between Cancun and Playa del Carmen. So there's lots of videos on the channel from Puerto Morelos and nearby areas. Two travelers in Mexico. Good to see you here. What? You're not a hippie? Yeah. You don't see me wearing tie-dyed shirts and stuff very often, and whatever else hippies wear. Cla Perez, thanks for the super chat. Have you ever been to Manzanillo, Colima? No, the only place I've been in Colima was Colima, the capital, and Comala, Colima, which is a pueblo mágico or magic town nearby. Really cool place. I loved it there. Easy, thanks for the super chat. You know your channel's getting big when you notice many spams and haters on the live stream. There's a lot of people on here, almost 600. Chris asks, is it true Merida is safe because the cartel families live there? Uh, you hear those rumors. I'm not sure of the truth to it. You also hear that about Querétaro. Uh, it's interesting. I was saying in the video that I released on YouTube and Facebook today that in Juriquilla in Querétaro, well, you hardly ever see police, and they have their own private security force instead. I don't like. I think the police are still allowed here because I see them occasionally, but yeah, just not very often. Whereas when I was in Merida, I don't think I've been in any city where there were so many police as there are in Merida, which which I found interesting. So it's it's interesting that there's the same rumor about both places, but Merida, tons of police. Querétaro, or at least in Juriquilla, almost no police. Joseph, good to see you here. We're moving from Puerto Morelos, looking to be cooler. Would you recommend Querétaro for a teenager? Uh, I'm trying to think of reasons why I wouldn't, and I can't think of any. So I guess that means the answer is yes. But I also don't have that perspective of being a teenager or having a teenager or anything like that. So yeah. Mario Amaraz, thanks for the super chat again. I think you're talking about the Sierra Gorda. It's in Querétaro, the Yosemite of Querétaro. So is it like in? I don't mean to make you keep sending super chats. I'll look for your name in the comments. Um, but is that like where you're gonna find like Pinal de Amoles? Uh, if so, I so badly want to go there. I haven't been yet though. Joe says hippies have a uniform. They're everywhere in San Cristobal. Yeah, that's another place with a lot of the Sayulita types. If I can put people into a box. That one guy. Thanks for the super chat. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Oh, a cat just came across my patio. It distracted me. Oh, thank goodness Alaska's not out here right now. Otherwise, that could have been a disaster. Where do I see myself in 5 years? Well, honestly, I don't know if I'll still be doing YouTube. I would like to be retired from YouTube and be doing running an investment newsletter. Probably living in Mexico. Jazz says, "Hey, thanks for sending love." Or says, "Hey, sending love from the Bronx, New York. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that." Jaime asks, "Have you visited the Baja California Peninsula?" No, I'm embarrassed to say no, I haven't. So I definitely need to change that. Sharon asked, "Did you enjoy Mazatlan when you were there?" Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. Um, However, I went there very soon after we started traveling through Mexico. So I was not experienced at all in Mexico travel. So I literally did not leave the tourist areas at all. So there's that giant caveat there with yes, I did enjoy it very much. Maggie Price, thanks for the super chat. Or is this? Oh, I'm trying to figure out what this symbol is next to your name on my software. Actually, I think you're a channel member. So thanks for being a channel member at all. If that's the case, uh, And 68-year-old hippie here. Love your videos as we hope to retire in Mexico. Hugs and kisses. Thank you. I appreciate you watching, and I hold nothing against you for being a hippie. Ruben Vasquez, thanks for the super chat. What airport do you land to get to Querétaro, and how long is the commute? Trying to plan a trip and would like to know any must-go places to go visit. Okay, so you can either fly into the Querétaro airport, which this airport symbol is QRO, if I remember right, or you can fly into Mexico City. So Mexico City usually means cheaper flights, and you can grab a bus from the Mexico City airport that goes straight to the bus terminal in Querétaro. So that's pretty convenient if you don't mind being on a bus for about 3 hours. And then you can save some money on the flights probably. And then must go places. Well, I mean, definitely explore Centro when you're in Querétaro. I really enjoy Bernal. You can check out a vineyard while you're here. There's a lot to do, and you're not too far away from San Miguel de Allende. I'd recommend going there. Maggie asks, any tips for adjusting to high altitude on a 1-week visit? Yeah, so if I would just Google like tips for adjusting to altitude changes, because this is what I did before going to Cusco, Peru, where the altitude is like, no, I think it's like 11,000 feet. And then while there, we went up as high as 17,000 feet above sea level. So what we did is, I believe we were taking certain vitamins before going, based on what I read, and also I ordered this like powder from Amazon that was specifically designed to help you adjust to altitude changes faster. Scott, thanks for the super chat. Cuernavaca is very temperate and cool in the summer, and there are many language immersion programs, some free. Yeah, that's cool. You know, like most of Mexico is actually like great climate year round because it's at higher elevation. So if you look at like an elevation map of Mexico, very little of the country is below like 3,000 feet. Literally, basically just on the coast everywhere. But almost everywhere in central Mexico is above 3,000 feet, and many places are 5,000 feet. I'm at 6,000 feet. Mexico City is at around 8,000 feet. I see we have a new channel member, Esmeralda. Thanks for joining as a channel member. I'm not sure if this software is allowing me to put your name up there, but I'll look for you in the comments. Eric, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. We got a 20 peso super sticker. Thank you very much. And Joe with the 50 peso super chat. Great seeing you, buddy. Here, have an ice cold glass of tepache on me. Tepache. I love it. Normally it's an ice cold beer or something, but tepache, that's unique. I remember trying tepache for the first time in Comala, Colima. Tucson Azuo, thanks for the super chat. Oh, here we go, Esmeralda. Found you. Thank you for becoming a channel member. I appreciate that. And Esmeralda with a $5 super sticker. Thank you. Try visiting Coatepec, Veracruz. It's close to Jalapa. Thanks for the recommendation and for the super chat. Yeah, so in Veracruz, I've been to Orizaba, loved it. been to Lake Catemaco, loved it. And then I've been to Heroica Veracruz, and wasn't the biggest fan of that, but I would definitely give more places in Veracruz a try. Intense Preppers says, or no, Intense Peppers, not Preppers. Are you a fan of horchata? One of my faves. It really depends. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Depends how it's made. Lake Tahoe Jim. My dog keeps looking around for the birds. That's funny. And thank you for being a channel member. I appreciate that. Jorge says, burrito or torta? Uh, I'd say burrito, but they're actually pretty hard to find in Mexico. I would have thought burritos would be super common, but they're in most places they're just not very common. So, I mean, I have to go with torta because, like, tortas are everywhere, but burritos aren't. What's your sign, Sean asks? I'm Capricorn, born in January. Do you plan on exploring Baja Sur? Yeah, definitely. Hope to soon. Lexi says, this is fun. Thanks for keeping us entertained. Glad it's entertaining. Have you had a tlayuda? They're my fave. Yeah, I love tlayudas. They're a Oaxacan food, and I get them all the time when I go to Oaxaca. But here I don't find a lot of them. However, just a day or two ago, I saw a tlayuderia, like a restaurant that is just tlayudas here in Querétaro. So I'm gonna have to go there. Good to know, Jaime, that burritos are common in the north, made from flour tortilla. Yeah, I mean, they're super common Mexican food in the U.S., but after traveling around Mexico, I kind of figured they're like a Tex-Mex food. And since, yeah, maybe it's a more northern Mexico Tex-Mex kind of thing. But yeah, in most of Mexico where I lived, burritos are really hard to find. She going to make a voodoo doll with that info? Well, I assume you're talking about the person who asked for my sign. Peekaboo Cockatiel. Thanks for the super chat. Do you know anything about getting pet parrots in and out of Mexico? I have 3, and I would like to take with me to Morelia for the winter. Uh, you know, I don't have a good answer for you. I'm sorry. I remember reading something about driving pet birds in or seeing some Facebook post or something like that. And I think there's technically either a law against it or a limit. I want to say, if I remember correctly, there's a limit as to how many birds you can bring in. But I mean, in all the experience that, like, personal experience, and from what I've heard from so many other people, is that when driving into the country, people they're just not strict about most things. So I don't know. It would definitely take some more research though. Manuel asks, have you tried anisette? It's like licorice in a bottle. So, I mean, I've had anise stuff, and I've had anise tea. Anise is pretty common in Mexico, and I agree. It does taste a lot like black licorice. There's another. I don't think I've had that, but there is another licorice tasting drink that I have had, sambuca, and sambuca is really easy to find in Mexico. Yeah, yeah, I've had that. It's good. If you like black licorice, I love it. Ran Ferry de Nova, thanks for the super chat. Jordan, let's collab on a video in Monterrey. Yeah, if anyone's interested in a collab, I'm open to them. Just go ahead and shoot me an email, and maybe we can work something out. Shauna says, no voodoo doll. Jeff asked, do you have a bike? No, I don't, but I want to get a mountain bike. Right near me, there's, I've seen a Cannondale bike store, and they make really good mountain bikes. And I've also seen a Specialized bike store, the brand Specialized, and they make awesome mountain bikes. So if I want an expensive mountain bike, I have those options, or I can like get a cheaper one from Costco or Walmart or like Sam's Club or something. Lily says, would you go to visit Guadalajara again? Yeah, absolutely. Michael asks, any more videos with the beautiful dentist? You know, I mean, I can ask her if she wants to do a video with me. So maybe it's not out of the question. But I know she's planning a trip to Spain soon, so it would have to be before she leaves. Lake Tahoe Jam, thanks for the super sticker. Kelly asks, will you video with the maids? Are they Mexican? I mean, yeah. So yes, they're Mexican. Will I do a video with them? Uh, I, I don't know what I would do a video on. I haven't given it any thought. One of them appeared in a short Facebook video that I posted a couple days ago. It's at the end of Alaska video. Mom on a Journey, thanks for the super chat. By the way, I believe she makes videos in Mexico, so go check out our channel. Visited Querétaro for a day and was blown away by the level of cleanliness. Yeah, it's a super clean city. Probably the cleanest I've been to in Mexico. How about an electric mountain bike? If I'm getting a mountain bike, it's going to be a manual one. I don't even know, do electric mountain bikes exist? I know there's electric bikes, but I don't know if they have any like mountain bikes. So the one I had in Phoenix, it was a dual suspension, meaning that there's shocks on the front wheel and there's shocks on the back wheel, which like really helps with all those bumps and going over rocks and stuff and boulders. Jeff asked, do you see lots of hummingbirds? I love those. Yeah, I see a lot of hummingbirds. Isn't gas expensive there too? Since coming to Mexico, the whole time, gas has been about $4 a gallon. because like it's run by Pemex, the state-owned oil company, and that's one of their major sources of revenue is like jacking up prices on fuel. So yeah, they do that except for in the border towns. They make it cheaper in the Mexico border towns than the rest of the country. But yeah, it's been about $4 the whole time. So to start coming to Mexico, it was more expensive than in the US, quite a bit more expensive. But the good thing is now that the world oil prices have gone up so much, gas prices in Mexico haven't changed a ton. But they've gone up, but not they haven't like doubled or anything like they have in the US. And now maybe they're $4.40 instead of $4 a gallon. So in fact, I saw one yesterday. It was 20.59 pesos a liter, or a little over $4, or I mean, a little over $1 a liter. Mario, thanks for the super chat. Haha, search for my response in a regular message. With my software, I can't search for it, but I'll keep an eye out for your name in the chat. Kelly asked, "Do you ever have male maids?" No, it's not really an occupation that males do here. I've I've never seen or heard of anyone having a male housekeeper in Mexico. Have you ever heard of any cartel activity in Querétaro? No, none, never. Oh my gosh. Deep fried hummingbird is delicious with chipotle aioli. I'm pretty sure this is you just trolling. Uh, Mike 50 cal. Jordan, grow the horn back. So, if you don't know this reference, there was one Vegas video that's on the channel from a while back where I did my hair that day and I didn't realize it until after we had recorded and looking at the footage later that my hair was shaped like I basically looked like a rhinoceros. It was horrible. And ever since, Mike's been talking about my horn. Manuel asks, "How are the topes there? Are they very high?" Oh, some aren't bad, some are really bad. For the most part, at least here in Querétaro, they aren't so bad. Natalie asks, "What do you do for a living?" Uh, make videos. Yeah, like everything. All my income either comes from making the videos or something that's related to making the videos. Alicia says, "Hi from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Hello, and thank you for the super chat." V says, "LOL, I'll have to go back and watch the video you're referring to." Yeah, you can probably even see it in the thumbnail. That is if I'm in the thumbnail. It could be Maddie. I don't remember. Nicholas asks, How long has it taken you to become familiar with Querétaro?" It's still a work in progress. I mean, I got very familiar with the city within literally a few days, thanks to this tour that I went on of the city, this driving tour where this guy Ruben took me around, well, took us around, showing us a bunch of different neighborhoods and describing them and things like that. So that got a pretty good lay of the land first day. But I mean, I'm still seeing new places, new parts of the city almost every week. Nicholas asked, do you find that after living in Mexico for so long, you no longer have to think when speaking Spanish? Does it just come naturally now? I think it really depends on the topic. Uh, if it's like something about food, being at a restaurant, yeah, I could do that in my sleep. Uh, but if it's some topic that I don't have much experience with, well, then there's a lot of thinking going on to think of how I say certain stuff. Thank you, Dallas. Appreciate that. Any advice for making money as a small channel? Things I could do now before getting bigger. Yeah, so I don't know how big your channel is now, but like before you ever get monetized, I don't know why more people don't do this, but you can you can start doing like affiliate stuff. So it looks like your channel is Vegas related. So I mean, you could work with a limo company there. You could work with a club promoter there, and work out some type of commission arrangement there. And as for growing your channel to get bigger, get more views, I mean, the best thing you can do is really just focus on getting better and better in your content. Like trying to make a better video every time than the time before and learning something every time. Like if you're looking back at your videos from 6 months ago and you're not thinking these videos suck, you're doing something wrong. Like you over a 6 month time frame, your videos should be way better. So focus on content over anything. Dave asks, have you tried any rail travel or excursions in Mexico? So I've done a tequila train twice where it leaves from Guadalajara and it's the Herradura train. And this one goes to this place called Amatitan, which is near the town of Tequila. Uh, but you go to their hacienda there and you get the tour of the factory. Awesome experience. Like my favorite experience that I've done in my 4 years living in Mexico, hands down, is that tequila train. So but I haven't done the very popular Copper Canyon train run that goes through several states. Oh, and speaking of that, have you been to Copper Canyon? No. Anna asks, if you have two housekeepers, how big is your home? My home's pretty large. It's way bigger than I need. It's probably like mm, over 3,000 square feet. Uh, 4 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms. Huge. Intense Peppers, how'd you set up your website and newsletter? I always wonder how every YouTuber also has the ability to make websites. Did you pay someone to build it? So I don't have a website right now. But when I did, I was using it as a merchandise store, and I used Shopify for that. And as for a newsletter, I started off using Mailchimp, but I learned very quickly that I didn't want Mailchimp, and then I switched over to Aweber, and I vastly prefer Aweber over Mailchimp. And if I were to build a website again, I'd probably pay someone to do it on WordPress or with WordPress, I should say. Jeff asks, "Why so big of a home?" It's just the one I loved. Like, walked in the front door and knew immediately that if I could swing it with the price that I wanted this place because it's beautiful. You have It's in my favorite neighborhood of the whole city. There's amazing views on every side of the house. Uh, you walk into the home and it's way cooler than it is outside. So this is a big deal in the hotter months, since very few homes here in Querétaro have air conditioning, and some can get pretty darn hot. Tom Easy says, "Hey Weber, yeah, that's the one to go to for if you want an email list." Jeff asked, "Can you show us the views?" I'm not going to do that right now. I'm still deciding if I want to do a tour of my house or not. And if I do decide that I'm going to, well, then I'll show the views in that. But if I do that, everyone familiar with the area will know exactly where I live. So that's the issue. Spuds Buckley, thanks for the super chat. How does the political division compare to how bad it is in the U.S.? Are there two main parties? Must be a relief living abroad these days. So honestly, I try to stay out of politics in Mexico, but yes, there's also a big division here. Um, but thankfully, I kind of have the luxury of just avoiding that. But I don't know a ton about Mexican politics. I know you have the Morena party and the PAN party. Um, mm, yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I try to ignore it. Daniel, have to say you look great after removing the mold. Thank you, appreciate that. Or is it Daniel? Probably saying your name wrong. Sorry. Simon, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate that. Vegas Education says, "I'd be worried about everyone knowing where you live and the cartel coming to get the rich YouTube kid." Honestly, where I live, I'm the poor one. Like, my neighbors are all, or a lot of them are multimillionaires, even close to billionaires. Thanos, where's your girlfriend? Uh, yeah, she's not here at the moment. Puck just landed on me. Speaking of mole, I prefer the green mole. Yeah, green mole is good. But I love lots of moles. Coloradito, rojo, negro. When did you start the Q&A? Hour and 15 minutes ago. Mm. Gabrielle says, go to Tlaxcala, then Baja Peninsula. Where's Tlaxcala? Never heard of it. I'm just kidding. Bad joke. Probably a joke you've heard way too much. That mole really bothered me. Glad you removed it. Yeah, me too. I've been wanting to get rid of that since before starting the YouTube channel, literally for years and years and years. I just never made it a priority. And over the past year or so, I think it had gotten a little bit bigger. So it's just becoming more and more of an annoyance. Christina asks, have you been to Acapulco? Yeah, I loved Acapulco. Some of my some of my best memories in Mexico are from Acapulco. Barack asks, have you picked up any superstitions since moving to Mexico? Um, no. I've never been like a superstitious guy. Lily asks, have you had the Tawino drink? Yeah, yeah, I think I tried that for the first time in Colima, and I think I've had it a couple times since then. I forget where else. Christina asks, are you going to get a car or what will be your mode of transportation to travel? Yeah, I'm going to get a car after I save up some more money. And as for modes of transportation, it'll mostly be that car and plane. Travel Zark, thanks for being a channel member. I appreciate that. When are you going back to Vegas? Um, Soon. Yeah, I'm gonna plan a trip there soon. Um, After Alaska's, like after she's healed enough that I feel comfortable enough to leave her with the sitter, I'm gonna try to get there right away because there's a bunch of equipment that I want to buy for the channel that's going to help me produce some better videos and make videos that I'm not able to with my current equipment that I have. So uh, I need to get that when I'm in the US. Albert with a $20 super chat, tied for the biggest super chat of the day, I believe. Thank you very much. Says great content. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks. Thanks for watching. Glad you've enjoyed it. Val asks, can you make a video of you cooking Mexican food? You know, unless I think of a creative way to do it, I don't think that's a video that I'm ever going to be making, if I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. Like to start, I don't like cooking. I like going out to eat. And I just, I've thought about it and I don't know how I would make it an interesting video. Corena Campbell, thanks for the super chat. Have you ever went and done an ayahuasca journey? No, I haven't, but it's not something I'm opposed to. I have a mole that I'd like to get rid of too. Was the removal process long and painful? It was about 20 minutes per each one. And I mean, if you have it somewhere where they'll burn it off, that's a really fast process. And with just a little bit of stinging, I've gotten that when I was younger. Uh, as for painful, like the two over here, I I barely felt it when she stuck the needle in to do the local anesthetic or whatever you call it. This one, when she applied that local anesthetic to that one, yeah, that one did hurt. I mean that pain was only for maybe 5 seconds though, and then after that I couldn't feel anything. And then after it was done, I guess I could feel the skin stretching a little bit after it was like stitched up, but it, I mean, it just felt weird. That didn't hurt though. Tomas, thanks for the super sticker. Appreciate that. And Domizi, would you consider getting a tangerine colored car? Just kidding. I know you're kidding, but yeah, I would. Um, I'm not going to limit myself to a tangerine colored car though. If I wanted a tangerine, I'd probably just buy the car I wanted and then get it painted. Simon, thanks for the super chat. Do people in Mexico talk about the Russia-Ukraine war? I'm not asking for opinions about the war, just wondering if it's a common topic in Mexico. Um, not in the groups of friends that I've hung out with. No, it hasn't come up. Destroyer of Sims, thanks for the super chat. More videos of you with the beautiful chicas. I was actually out with someone yesterday and I recorded a little bit of it. I'm not sure if that's going to make it into a video next week, but it might. When flying within Mexico, what's your preferred airline to use and why? Well, I like Aeromexico because number one, all of their flights go to Mexico City, and I have lounge access there because of my American Express card to my favorite lounge that I've been to anywhere. So that's nice to go to that lounge, get a free meal, get a free massage. So I like stops in Mexico City for that reason. And Aeromexico also because they're a partner airline with Delta, and I have status in Delta. So if I book an Aeromexico flight, I can get upgraded to first class if there's space available. So I like that. But then, like when I've flown to Puerto Vallarta, I use I flew Volaris because it was a direct flight at a good time of day, like midday, easy. I didn't have to wake up early or get to the airport later or anything like that. Whereas if I wanted to go to Puerto Vallarta from Querétaro through Aeromexico, well then I it was just bad flight times. So when I either have to get up really early or arrive really late, well then that also factors into it. Thoughts on Cabo? I want to go, but as for thoughts, I mean, I know what I've heard about it, and it's a more expensive city. It's a very popular place, very touristy. So I don't know if I'm going to like it or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. But I also want to visit some nearby places like La Paz, and I think Laredo is close by too. Ever visited Canada? Yes, I have. My mom lives there, but I've only been to Manitoba. Jeff says orange car is way too conspicuous. Um, so I actually like conspicuous because if someone's going to just like steal a car or try to do something like that, they're going to pick a very common car, a common color. Like it's stupid to pick an orange car since there's very few orange cars or tangerine cars on the road uh, because it's just so easy to track down, right? So one of my favorite authors who's driven around the whole world, he did one of those trips in a yellow Mercedes, and he picked yellow because he did research on like the least stolen cars, the least common colors, and he wanted a really uncommon color. So I think there's good logic behind that. So personally, I would choose an uncommon color versus a common one. Do you hire someone to walk Alaska? No, never done that. I like getting out myself, so that's some of my time with her, and I can go for a walk and I enjoy it. I listen to a book or listen to music while doing that. Sometimes I'm on the phone catching up with people. Do you have residency yet? Gil asks. Yes, I do. Yellow Lamborghini? Yeah, yeah, something that's not too ostentatious like that. Barry says Querétaro seems like the least Mexican city I've visited. Comment. So I mean, there's there's a lot of different ways you can define Mexican city. Now, if you're talking about like that part of it is very modern city, well then yeah, there's parts that are pretty modern. But I mean, even in a place like Juriquilla, where it's been mostly all built in the last 40 years, there's haciendas that are hundreds of years old here that have been converted into hotels and things like that. There's an aqueduct. There's a huge aqueduct spanning the entire, or like much of the city, that's hundreds of years old. There's a historic center of town that's uh, really old, founded in like early 1600s, something like 1603, if I remember correctly, or was it 1503? A long time ago, either way. So it has that colonial aspect to it, and then also like you might be thinking like least Mexican in the sense of like it's kind of it's pretty wealthy, but there's a lot of parts of the city that aren't as wealthy, where you get a lot of that small town Mexico feel, where you have all of your local little shops and taco stands and um, that kind of thing. So I don't. There's a lot of variety to the city, depending on the area you're in. Do Mexicans think they're Spanish from Spain? Uh, Rarely. I have actually gotten German more often. They call me El Alemán sometimes. I don't know why they think I'm German. You got ripped off on dog therapy. You like that girl? I don't think I got ripped off. She's well, I think her prices are very reasonable. Um, and it's helping last out. So, yeah. Thanks for the super chat. Which travel YouTubers do you like, and who do you want to do future videos with? So, like, I I really like what Kara and Nate do. So, yeah, if I had a chance to do a video with them, I definitely would. I like Alan Portamundo's videos. Who else? There's another couple that does videos in Spanish. They're a Mexican couple. Pretty big channel. I forget. Gosh, the name of the channel is slipping my mind right now, though. Manuel says El Alemán. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, in fairness, I do have some German in me. I'm at least a quarter German. Terry's Tenacious asks, what are average rental costs? I mean, I can't answer that question. It's like asking how much does a car cost? Are you talking a 20-year-old Ford Pinto or are you talking a brand new Lamborghini? Um, so I mean, I can literally go on Facebook Marketplace here in Querétaro and get rentals for as little as $60 a month. But I can also go on like websites and find rentals in excess of $5,000 a month. So I mean, there's a huge range. Gilda Brewer says, "Where's your girlfriend from?" Well, this comment presupposes that I have a girlfriend, which I may or may not. What do you think of San Cristobal de las Casas? Is it more affordable than most Mexican cities? Yes, when I visited, although it was a while ago, it was December 2018. It was one of the most affordable cities that I'd been to. So I assume it's still affordable, but I do know that it's a pretty popular place. So prices probably gone up since then. As for what I think of it, though, I mean, so it's a cool place. There's a lot of culture there, but there's also a whole heck of a lot of political protesting, and I didn't like that. Like people are always feeling the need to protest with like by spray painting everything and defacing buildings and stuff. I didn't like that. And also, pretty much everyone who goes there gets terribly ill. I don't know why, but I don't know of any other place in Mexico where people get as sick as they do in San Cristobal. And some people don't get better until they leave. Thank you, V. I appreciate you posting this. I'm only able to see and read a small percentage of the comments, so just keep that in mind. Dave asks, "Do you find signals and connections an issue?" Thanks for the super chat, first of all, and I assume you're talking about like cell phone signals and internet connections, things like that. I mean, I have Telcel for my cell service, and they're great. I rarely am in a situation where I don't have coverage. And as for internet connections, no. I mean, like almost every restaurant I go to offers Wi-Fi, malls offering Wi-Fi for free and things like that. And then at home, I have super fast fiber optic internet. Climatic asks, "Are you comfortable filming alone now or still getting used to it?" Uh, Honestly, after the first video, or like, yeah, basically the first travel vlog I did alone in Puerto Vallarta, I was fine by the end of that. It felt weird for the first one. However, when it comes to filming alone, there's a lot of shots that I just can't get or are difficult to get. So there's that aspect to it. So in terms of like the filmmaking aspect and getting the best angles and things like that, well, it's more difficult doing that alone. Have you ever eaten tacos El Pata, Mike asked, or MKE? Yes. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I've been there in person, but I did order that in Uber Eats just a couple nights ago. Traveling Eddie, Jordan, thanks for a lot of the content. Oh no, sorry, can't read. Jordan, thanks a lot for the content you put up, bud. Good night, everyone. Thanks for joining the live. Amber from Vancouver says, "Hey Jordan, hope you're having a great day. Hope you are as well. The background and bird sounds are nice to hear when it's always raining here." Yeah, it is nice. I love just sitting out here, not thinking about anything, just listening to the birds. Tomas Mundo asks, "Why can't I receive notifications when you're streaming?" I don't know. It could be your phone settings. You might have to go into like the settings on your phone and allow notifications from YouTube or from Facebook. Uh, Assuming that's the case, then the next step is to go into the YouTube app. I see you're watching on YouTube. Uh, so go into the YouTube app and make sure notifications are on and allowed. And then I think you should get them. And then of course, like you click the bell next to the subscribe button on Tangerine Travels, and those three things. So notifications on your phone, notifications on YouTube, and clicking the bell. Those three things will get you notified. And if they don't, I don't know how to help you. Soren Brockdorf, thanks for the $20 super chat. Tied for the biggest super chat of the day. Tahoe is getting crazy. Is there anywhere in Mexico similar to Tahoe or Lake Placid? You know, I haven't been there, so don't I don't really know what it's like. But to the best of my knowledge, something like Valle de Bravo, maybe, which is um, fairly close to Mexico City. That's I'll type that out for you in the comments. But if someone in here, there's 600 people here. I'm sure one of you have been to both Valle de Bravo and Lake Tahoe. If those are similar, let me know. If not, maybe you have another suggestion. Thank you, Estras, for the super chat. Adrian asks, "Hi, hope you're fine. Would you have a Mexican girlfriend?" Yeah, yeah, gladly. I like Mexican girls. Linda asks, "What kind of birds do you have there?" Honestly, Linda, I don't know my birds. I mean, I know there's doves, there's lots of things that look like a little finches. A hawk flew into my window the other day. Uh, there's there's white herons, and there's also pelicans certain times a year. Lots of ducks. Sam asks, "Can you do some house tours for people who hope to retire on 1,000 to 1,500?" Yeah, yeah. There's some on the channel, but I can do more real estate stuff. I want to do more real estate tours for all budgets, really. Diego de la Vega says, "Yes, Valle de Bravo without the snow, though." And Steve says Las Estacas in Morelos. So places similar to Lake Tahoe. Fit Coach says Loudbirds. Yep, that's kind of half. Canadian geese. I've only seen Canadian geese flying here. I don't think I've seen them on the ground. Corn Dog asks, "How are the mosquitoes there?" They're not bad. Um, there are mosquitoes, but they're not like super duper ninja mosquitoes like they are in Quintana Roo when they're like attacking the jungle animals. Like those things are so fast and they'll eat you through any clothing. Here, the mosquitoes that do exist are kind of stupid, and they're not very good about biting you. So that's a good thing. Can you do a video on dating Mexican girls and what they are like? I'm considering that video for this coming Saturday. So yeah, yeah, I'm going to do it. I wanted to get new equipment before doing that video because there's some things I had planned that it's like, okay, I can make a good video with my current equipment, or I can make a great video if I had this new stuff that I want, and I would really like to make that great video because honestly, it's going to mean the difference between the video getting 200,000 views or close to a million views. But yeah, I'll do that. The Bosques de Montreal year-round ski center in Mexico is Mexico's only ski resort with a lift. Huh, interesting. You're calling it the bra video. That's funny. Um, that's that the video Kelly's talking about is the one where it's hard to find products in Mexico. You know, if I were to do another one of those, it would have to be some other spin on it because I covered a lot of the hard to find products, and then I would just if I were to do another one of the same topic, I think people would kind of get bored of it, and like it would just be less interesting, and the products I would be mentioning would be more obscure, things like that. Corn Dog says, "What the bummer?" But Jordan just said they weren't bad and were rather stupid. LOL. Oh, it took me a moment to think of what you were talking about here, but you're talking about the mosquitoes. I was like, who did I call stupid? Brian asked, "You meet a lot of Mexicans there who want to move to the U.S.?" No, some, but no. Mo- most of the people I meet are like they have their career here, they have their business here, they were educated here, a doctor or a dentist or a physical therapist or an engineer or a supply chain manager working for like working in the aerospace industry or the automotive industry, or like they have their own practice here with like whatever profession they are. And no, very few want to leave, or at least want to move to the U.S. No, most of them want to stay, not even just go to the U.S. or anywhere else. Lisa asks, how long does it take to make a video from the beginning to end? So, okay, so there's there's the planning of it, there's the actual recording of it, and then there's the editing of it, and then um, post post production, like to get everything ready on YouTube, and then also a bunch of tasks I have to do after it's already on YouTube in the coming weeks and months. So I don't know. It varies a lot from video to video, but let's just take an average video recently, maybe like 5 hours of planning, a half a day of recording. Uh, my editor probably works on it for at least 40 hours. And then uh, like getting it ready to post and everything, that's probably another 10 hours. And then working on like post upload stuff over the course of the coming months, that's probably 5 hours per video. So I don't know, maybe you're looking at a total of 80 hours of video, which is a lot, which is why it makes it hard to put out one quality video a week. Soul Light, any Spanish word you heard recently you didn't know what it meant? Yeah, last night I was watching a movie on Amazon Prime Video, and it was it was a good movie. It was I forget what the name of it was, but it was about this a girl who's from a deaf family, and she's the only one in her family who's not deaf, and she goes on to be in choir and like go to school for being a singer. And in that movie, the choir teacher is this Mexican guy, and he said the word, I think it was piojos or something. It's the word meaning lice, like as in head lice. And the context it was used in was like, why are you scared? I don't have lice. Um, and that's just like a way to say in Mexico that if someone isn't close to you, like it seems like they're afraid to get close to you, you'll say, why are you so far away? I don't have lice. So yeah, that's one I learned yesterday, but I have to look up to make sure I have that word correct. Piojos? I forget. Type it in the comments. I'm sure one of you knows it, or many of you. Don't look now, but there's a scorpion on your shoulder. I hope not. I'm actually looking. I'm sure you're joking, but I like one time in Mexico, a scorpion stung me on my neck right next to my spinal column, and that was not fun. Margaret, thanks for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Wow, that sounds impossible for a beginner to start on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, starting on YouTube though, you're you're just trying to make the best videos you can. like everyone's videos are going to suck when you start, and you're slowly going to get better and better, assuming you're actually trying to improve. And um, like I'm just trying to make the absolute best videos that I can, and there's a whole lot of work involved in that. So I mean, when you start out though, it's not like that. I mean, you're still trying to make the best videos you can, but the best videos when you start are a lot different than the best videos you can make 4 years later. Here it is. Alan, thank you. Piojos. That's lice. Here we have. Oh, and this person says it means fleas, and here's someone else saying fleas. Okay. So when I Google translated it, it told me lice. Uh, Amber says Jordan needs a few more mods here. Okay, thanks for letting me know. I'll go through the stream after it's done and designate some more as mods. I don't know if I can do that on Facebook though, so I think I can only do it on YouTube, and I'm streaming to both places. I think I'm streaming to Facebook still. Did my Facebook stream end? In the comments here, I'm seeing all of them are coming from YouTube. Maybe something happened with that. Yola, thanks for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Stupid little tiny bugs just flying all over my face. Lisa says piojos is lice, fleas are pulgas. Yeah. I don't remember ever seeing the word piojos in like Alaska's flea and tick treatment that I give her, whereas pulgas is always on there as one of the things listed. Fleas are pulgas. Pulgas is fleas. Okay. We got Facebook. Facebook is still on. Maybe we just don't have that many viewers on Facebook. Thank you for letting me know. I appreciate that. Hey Justin, good to see you here. Thanks for being a channel member. Rudy asks, "How's your life there?" I mean, I love it. It's nice. Perfect weather year round. Yeah, the birds chirping. I I can go out to eat for a fraction of the cost of what it would cost me in the U.S. There's a lot of good people here. Lots of good friends. Cora says 45 now on the Facebook stream. Okay, thank you. And I think I can see the total number, and the total number. Oh, okay. I hover over it on my software here, and I see 537 on YouTube and 43 on Facebook. Cool. Do you know what it means to make pioitos on your partner's head yet? I can't say I do, Franco, but I'm picturing something that I probably shouldn't say on this stream. Anna asked, Jordan, is it better to watch your live streams on YouTube? I don't see a way to donate on Facebook. Yeah, I think you can send stars on Facebook. YouTube makes it easier. Like I don't know how to do the star thing on Facebook. I know a lot more about YouTube than I do about Facebook. So if it were me watching it, I would watch on YouTube. But it's just whatever your preferred platform is, really, I think. Scott asked, do Mexican women think American men living in Mexico are rich? I mean, there's I guess I don't know the answer to your question, but if I had to guess, I would say they probably think the average American is more wealthy than the average Mexican. But yeah, I don't know. Hey, good to see you here, Edward. Thanks for being a channel member. And buenas tardes to you too. Is there fighting going on between Justin and Amber here? Did you catch the hockey game last night? No, I did not. I had a very, very long date yesterday. Adrian's Lair says, "What kind of camera do you presently use?" So there's two I have. One is a Sony RX 100 Mark 7. I know that it's so long. I'm just going to put it in the chat here. Sony RX 107. And then I also have the GoPro 7. However, I lost a couple of cameras when I bought the business from Maddie. Like she took a couple and I took a couple. So there's new cameras I want to get. Like right now, the GoPro 7 isn't good enough to vlog with for like the quality I want. But I'd be happy with the 10, with the GoPro 10, and I want to get that. But with the Sony RX 107, it's a great camera and it's like the top of the line point and shoot, but it just doesn't have any wide angles. So it's also hard to vlog with that one. So I don't really have a great vlogging camera right now. I mean, the Sony's good, but I just want a wider angle for a lot of situations. Like if I want another person in there, I usually can only have myself in it unless I have it on a long selfie stick, which is kind of a pain. Oh, Two Travelers to Mexico asked, "What software are you using to live stream? What's it called?" Um, it has a duck logo. Oh, it's literally right in my address bar here. StreamYard. Little little bugs are bothering me. Whoa! Someone decided to turn the music way up just now. Okay, Franco. Thanks. Okay, so like, and what do you call that again? Like, give piojitos? Okay, so I was not thinking that. I was thinking something much dirtier than massaging someone's head with your fingernails. Nans asked, "Jordan, can you get a job in Mexico?" Like, if you're talking like, can I get a job in Mexico? Sure, I could. I don't want to. If you're asking like, can one get a job in Mexico? Um, yeah, I mean to do it legally, you're supposed to get like permission to work. Like if you're like working for a company, but I mean, if you're working for yourself, like, well, then it's super easy to get that permission. Thank you for the super chat. Have you been to many soccer football matches around Mexico? Mexican fans in the U.S. passion. I haven't been to one yet. I know it's a shame. I should. And I would. I don't have anything against going. Rudy asked, what kind of breed is your dog? She's a Siberian Husky. Alex asked, Jordan, are you considered rich in Mexico? So, like if you earn about 36,000 pesos a month, you are in the top 1% of earners. Now, I don't think this data includes business owners, but like those who actually have a job earning a wage, 36,000 puts you in the top 1%. Uh, so, like in that context, yeah, I'd be considered rich. Uh, like in my neighborhood, I'd be considered poor just because everyone else here is so rich. Larray says, how many American fans have come up to you while in Mexico? I don't know, thousands, lots. Bruce asks, is it more profitable to do a live stream or a recorded video? I mean, depends. Like, depends on how many views the recorded video gets. Depends on the budget for that video. Like, for example, I did one not too long ago that was showing various services in Mexico. Like, that's just going to help out people so much. Like, it's such a useful video. It just makes me mad that it doesn't have very many views because, like, it's probably the most useful video I've ever made for anyone who's considering living in Mexico, and it's gotten crap views. And that video cost me $900 to make. So, I mean, that video, like, I'm losing money on it. So I mean, the cheapest video I'll make is going to cost me about $250, or probably $300. At the very cheapest, it's going to cost me $300. So I have to get that just to break even. Whereas a live stream, it doesn't cost anything. So there's that considering, or there's that to consider when it comes to answering that question. Steve says, thanks for referring Mario. Got Mexico residency a month ago in Querétaro. Hey, glad it helped. And you're welcome. Thanks for the super chat. Another $20 super chat. I think that's 4 $20 super chats today. Thank you very much. Saludos a la gente bonita de sorry, I don't know how to say that. Cadereyta de Montes, Querétaro. Okay, sorry, I'm not familiar with that place in Querétaro, pero saludos. Muchas gracias. Alex asked, how come it cost $900 to make that video? Because I used $300 to pay people's bills in it, to pay subscribers' bills. It was a very long, complicated edit, so the editing of it cost me $500, and then to pay for the captioning of it and like all that stuff was about another $100. Okay, I know this was from a while ago on the stream, but make piojitos, or is it hacer piojitos? It's such an innocent way to say and give a massage to your partner's head. It has no sexual meaning behind it. Cesar asked, "What do your folks think about you living in Mexico? Are they happy about it?" So at first they were terrified. Like uh, when I told them that I was moving to Mexico, they did, well, especially my dad did anything he could to try to convince me not to go. Like I was getting sent articles by family members, videos, articles of all the terrible things, like this person's getting their head chopped off, this person's getting murdered, blah blah blah, whatever. Like anything negative that you could possibly find on the internet was being sent to me. And then came to Mexico, started making videos. Like when the when I first came to Mexico, they wanted to hear from me nonstop to make sure I was okay. But like then they started seeing the videos that we were making, and then they're like, "Oh, it's not nearly as scary as everyone's telling me it is." And then, so as time went on, there was like less and less communication. They were less and less scared. And then a few months into it, they're like, "You live a better life there than we live in the U.S., don't you?" I was like, "Yep." Richard says you're paying way too much on editing. I don't think so. I think I got to get the quality as high as I can, because it's just becoming more and more competitive. And if you don't make as good a video as you can, then like you're just not going to do well on YouTube. And my editor is so good. He's so skilled at what he does, and I want to make sure he's very well compensated because I don't want to lose him. Claudia asks, "Why do you pay when you can edit yourself?" First, I don't know how to edit a video, and two, I don't have time. So it's something I have to outsource. In fact, I'm considering hiring more people to free up more of my time, so I can spend like more time doing other stuff and perhaps making more videos. Um, a Senor de los Cielos asks, "Have you always used an editor?" No, I've wanted to I've wanted to hire an editor for a long time, but um, that was something Maddie and I weren't able to agree on, and it wasn't until after we broke up and she she no longer wanted to edit my videos that I was making for the channel because, well, she has her reasons. Um, I don't want to get into that kind of thing because it would be like kind of speculation, and then I don't want to talk about her either. But anyway, so it wasn't until then that finally we were in agreement to get an editor, and ever since then I haven't looked back. Do they like Nickelback in Mexico? I don't know. I've never. I don't think I've ever heard Nickelback here. Anna asked, "What's the name of the video that cost $900 and you wish more people would see? I missed it somehow. I want to watch." I'll go on my YouTube channel right now and post a link to it in the comments. So just give me one moment here. I'll be back shortly. All right. Got the link. Posting it now. There it is. Jay, maybe I should learn video editing. I'm not being taken for a ride though. It's like you got to pay up if you want a highly skilled editor who's in a, a North American time zone and is bilingual in Spanish and English. Like there just aren't that many of them. Uh, so I mean, I'm paying him more than he was asking, but that's because I thought he was underpaid. Mike says, Jordan, I think your best videos are still all the Vegas ones, most fun. I love the Vegas videos. I love making them. I love going there. It's nice. Pack Attack, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that. Domeezy asks, have you thought about doing a podcast? No, I don't think I'm going to do a podcast. Barbara asked, would you do an OnlyFans? Yeah. I was considering starting an OnlyFans where I would only post pictures with fans. Like when I ran into fans, I would take a picture with them and post it on my OnlyFans. So that's what I'm thinking about doing with that. I'm only half joking. Steve asks, you think it's possible to make a high quality video using the iPhone 13? Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to post a video in the chat. And in this video, I was in Puerto Vallarta, but then I went to this resort called Marival in Punta Mita, which is like an hour away. And while at Marival, I recorded the entire thing with my iPhone 12 Pro Max. No external audio or anything. And I was shocked at how good that turned out. Like you can easily make a video on one of the new iPhones. They're really good. Like if you want to make videos, you don't even have to buy a camera. You can just use, if you have a new phone, you can use that. But anyway, I posted that video in the comments. E-commerce, thanks for the super chat. Is foreign income taxed in Mexico? The reason I ask is because I hear in Ecuador, non-residents pay zero taxes on foreign income and can live there for 2 years and can be renewed. Zero federal taxes to Uncle Sam. Sound nice. So there's the foreign earned income exclusion from the IRS that applies to your first $112,000 of earned income, but there's a very specific definition for earned income from the IRS. And like if that's like passive income from real estate or something or from stocks, well, that doesn't count as earned income, so that doesn't qualify for that tax exemption. And as for, is foreign income taxed in Mexico, it kind of depends on your status. Like if you're talking about taxed by the Mexican government, to the best of my understanding, it depends on like your status of whether you're considered a bona fide resident of Mexico. But unlike the US, Mexico does not tax its citizens on income earned worldwide, no matter where they live in the world. So there's that. But honestly, like when it comes to taxes, it's also complicated. And I mean, I just don't know enough about it to give advice. Like I know what I've learned and stuff like that, but yeah, it's just really complicated whether you're in the US or Mexico. Adolfo Hernandez, thank you for the 200 peso super chat. Would you say the quality of life you have in Mexico is better than the one you could have in the US doing the same career? Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. Sin duda. Ramon asked, do they like Nickelback anywhere? I like Nickelback. I don't know why they get hated on so much. I think Chad Kroeger has a great voice. Oh, this is interesting. Piojos is also slang for annoying little kids. I love that. That's funny. Mars Fool's Gold asks Mario an abogada. Well, if he was a lawyer, he would be an abogado, not an abogada. Um, but no, he's just like an immigration facilitator. Okay, I need to get caught up on comments here. I didn't realize that I was falling so far behind. Diana says the content is better now that it's just your ideas. Well, thank you. I'm glad you're liking it. I'm really focusing on improving the quality. Alexis, thank you for the 100 peso super chat. I'll be right back. Alaska's looking at me. She wants to come outside, so I'm going to let her out. Hey, do you want to come outside? Well. Okay, I'm back. Alaska, come here. Oh, we got your tail in the shot for a moment. Diaz Jose asks, is your editor Mexican? Yes. Yes, he's a Mexican from the state of Morelos. Gary, thanks for the super chat. What motivated you to move to Mexico and what'd you do for a living before you moved? There were a lot of things that motivated me to move to Mexico, and I've made entire videos about that with lists that are like 20 things long. um, but what did I do for a living before coming? Well, I had an online business, like basically kind of selling stuff on eBay and Amazon. Can you guys hear this music? Because to me, this is really loud, and I'm considering putting in my headphones for better audio if I need to. As for what motivated me to move to Mexico, well, number one, I wanted to see more of the world. I knew I wanted to live abroad. Uh, like my girlfriend at the time, her health was just like getting destroyed in the U.S. and she couldn't eat any food there. So that was part of it. Neither one of us really liked our jobs. So that's just some of the reasons. But there's videos on Tandry Travel's channel that will go into a lot more detail on that. Justin says, "Oh, we can hear the music." No, it's not too bad. Sound is okay. All right. Well then, as long as it's not terribly distracting. And I don't know if I can just throw my headphones in and then you'll be hearing me through my headphones. I can try. Okay, it's connected. How's the audio now? Can you hear me okay now? James, thanks for the super chat. Jordan, drop in on us in Ensenada, Baja California for Cocos Locos on Cameron. That sounds awesome. I love my Cocos Locos. If you don't know what a Coco Loco is, you take a coconut, you chop the top off, and then you add some alcohol to the coconut water. So good. Please DM. I want to pick your brain about YouTube videos. Take great vid pics. Hate editing. I don't know how to DM, to be honest. I don't even know where I would do that. It's the same audio. Okay, good to know. So it didn't even change Unmute. Okay. Well, my software said my mic was disconnected when I put my headphones away. So maybe it did change. I'm not sure. Are you planning to buy another tangerine car to go around Mexico? I mean, I plan to buy another car. I don't know what color it's going to be though. Now we can't hear you. Yeah, it muted me for a moment. I was alerted. I was alerted of that. I got a pop up on my screen from StreamYard here. Marsha Paul, have you ever considered getting Mexican citizenship and relinquishing your American citizenship? Well, I don't have to give up my U.S. citizenship if I get Mexican citizenship. So, um, those that's not like one and the same. So I can have both. But yes, yes, I'm considering getting Mexican citizenship, and as soon as I can, I'm going to. Divan Martin asks, have you thought about doing any tours with 15 or 20 people? No, mostly because I don't want to be the one responsible for organizing everything. Uh, that's just not a responsibility that I want. However, I would consider doing like a meetup where I arrange time a few months out to like have a meetup at like an all inclusive or like go on a cruise or something like that, where you can plan to go to the all inclusive at the same time that I'm going and just book that package with the click of a button or a cruise or something, and then the employees at the resort or on the cruise, well then they do all the organization and all the event planning and all of that, and like they're responsible for like making sure everyone's entertained and well fed and all that, and then I'm just there kind of to hopefully add to the experience or something. I've considered something like that, but as for me running a group tour, no, that's not something I want to do. Dolfo Hernandez, thank you for the super chat. Okay, well, now Lask is yelling at me to go inside, so I'll be right back. Gotta be careful. No. Jenny, thank you for the super chat. Barbara says, "Oh my God, the birdies are awesome." Yeah, I love the birds here. Jenny asks, "How will it change your life concretely to get Mexican citizenship? What's your status now?" Well, it will change because I'll be able to do like banking and things a lot easier here. Right now, with my temporary residency, I can only get a bank account at a few banks. I can't get like the Costco credit card, for example. There's just a lot of things that I can't do, and it's kind of annoying. Um, and also, I can't own property in my name in the restricted zone, and I want multiple passports. Ideally, I would like more than two. So, yeah, I guess it would change those in those ways. Mojave Vibe Premium Mexican Blankets. I know exactly what your channel's about. Thank you for the $5 super chat. What's your ideal Saturday night? I mean, there's a lot of things I could enjoy on a Saturday night. I would enjoy going out, like hanging out with friends. I would enjoy going out for dinner or drinks. Uh, enjoy like taking Alaska for a walk and just have a relaxed night. Maybe I watch some Netflix or something. I don't know. That's just a few things I can think of. Jesus says his dentist is a fox. Huh. I thought she was a human. No, she is pretty. Linda asks, "What poisonous critters do you have to be on the lookout for?" Uh, Here where I live, I don't know if there's any, but I've lived in other places in Mexico where I had scorpions and black widows and fun stuff like that. Can you hear that bass bumping over there? When are you coming to Monterey? I don't know. Sometime. I just don't know when. Jordan, when will you start traveling again? Soon. Alaska's getting better, but I think she still has at least a couple more weeks to go before I'd feel comfortable enough leaving her with a sitter. Amelia Hollingsworth says, "Can't you get a fideicomiso if you purchase property in the restricted zone?" Yeah, and that would cost me, that would run me between $300 and $800 a year. Um, or I could own it in a Mexican corporation, which I would have to like do the annual filings and stuff for the corporation, and that would have a cost to it. Um, but I mean, I'd prefer to own it in my name, or at least have the ability. Lisa Cisneros, thanks for the super chat. You seem to know a lot about finances and investing. Would you consider having an online interactive class? I would pay for that. Also, how'd your long date go? Just kidding. You don't have to answer that. Uh, would I consider having an online interactive class? I don't know. I hadn't thought about that. I've considered doing like an investment newsletter. I've considered starting a second channel with stuff regarding that. And the long day went well. That's why it was so long. Yeah, it was like 12 hours. Dave asked, "Do you ever see other US YouTubers like Alex and Taylor from Backpacking Brunette?" Uh, sometimes. Sometimes I run into other YouTubers. Not super frequently. Like where I live, it's almost all Mexicans. So people I'm seeing are Mexican, almost all of them. Justin, thanks for the super chat. So you live next to a nightclub. Good to know. It, yeah, it is. It is a bar play or bar or restaurant playing loud music. Normally they don't start this early on a Saturday, and it's not always this loud either. But also sometimes it's coming from other homes. Like sometimes Mexicans have loud parties and crank up their music. Also, George really wants to know when you're coming to Monterey next. Yeah, I I answered George recently, so you probably sent the super chat right around that same time. Speaking of noisy neighbors, how do you deal with noisy neighbors in Mexico late at night? Where I live, it's not really a problem. If you live in a nicer neighborhood, people tend to be more respectful and don't have loud parties late at night, or at least it's a lot more rare for that to be the case. And I live in a nice neighborhood, so yeah, it's, it's a very peaceful place. Like this loud music that's going on right now is abnormal. I am still live. It's been 2.5 hours now. Dave asks, is Cinco de Mayo going to kick off this week? It's not really something that's celebrated here. It was just like a small battle that was won, and it's not really a holiday here. Is Mexico safe? There's been a lot of stuff happening there lately. I mean, I really think it's a location issue. Uh, I mean, there's cities in Mexico that aren't as safe as others, but there's most cities are perfectly safe and not an issue to visit or live in. Uh, and then also, it's a matter of where within the city. Like, for example, Mexico City. Can you be safe there? Yeah, like you can you can live and hang out in very safe parts of the city, but you can also go to very dangerous parts of the city where a mugging might not be uncommon, things like that. You got it. It's more of a gringo holiday. Yeah, just a reason to drink in the U.S. Have you met Heidi and Adam from the Country Collectors? They were in your neck of the woods not long ago. Um, no, no, I've never met them or had any communication with them. Justin asks, "Is Detroit safe? There's been a lot of things happening there lately." Yeah, I mean, name your city in the U.S. and if they reported on like bad stuff happening there the same way they did on Mexico, like you'd be terrified to go anywhere in the U.S. Like, let's say two Americans come to Mexico and they get killed. Well, then that's going to be all over the news in the U.S. But they'll neglect to mention that 15 million other Americans visited Mexico this year and nothing happened to them. So it's it's all. I think it's mostly a matter of the way it's reported and putting things into perspective and putting things into like numbers like that. Kobe asks, "Have you ever been to Amsterdam and London?" Amsterdam, yes, loved it. London, no. You know, I gotta end the stream. I'm starting to feel weird. Like my heart's like kind of racing. I think I need some food in me or something. So I gotta go. One more super chat here. Adolfo, thank you for the super chat. When making new friends or meeting people, what criteria are you using to know if you can trust them or how much you can disclose with them? Uh, I don't know. That's a tough question. I'm sorry. I would have to think about this to give you a good answer. I think for me, it's a lot of gut feeling, like trying to trust my subconscious and all the years of experience I have on Earth. But anyway, okay. Thank you all for joining. If you haven't seen it yet, I posted a new YouTube video today, so you can go check that out. And then I will see you on Saturday. Thanks a lot for joining. Thanks for all your questions, for those who sent super chats and the channel members. And see you later.